locating an exact replacement for an Arrow-Hart Hegeman Midget relay, particularly model number 28304, manufactured in the mid-20th century, can present a significant challenge due to its age and the evolution of electrical components. When seeking a replacement, it is crucial to understand the relay specifications, including its voltage rating, contact configuration, which is single-pole double-throw, coil resistance, and physical dimensions. The original relay operated at 110 volts, and maintaining this voltage rating in the replacement is paramount for ensuring proper operation and safety within the existing circuit. Firstly, several potential sources can be explored to locate either an exact replacement or a suitable substitute. Antique Electronic Supply, also known as Tubusanmore.com, specializes in vintage and hard-to-find electronic components. The inventory may include relays from that era, or they might be able to suggest a compatible alternative. Secondly, Fair Radio Sales, accessible at fairradio.com, is another established supplier of surplus and vintage electronic equipment. They often carry a wide array of relays and other components that could potentially meet the required specifications. Thirdly, Mouser Electronics and Digi-Key Electronics, both leading distributors of electronic components, represent a broader range of options. While they may not stock the exact Arrow-Hart Hegeman model, they likely have a selection of SPDT relays with similar electrical characteristics and physical dimensions. Their websites provide detailed datasheets and filtering tools to help identify suitable alternatives. Keep in mind that while these suppliers offer extensive inventories, it is important to verify that any potential replacement relay meets the specific requirements of the original. This includes confirming the voltage rating, contact configuration, current rating, and physical size to ensure proper fit and functionality. Additionally, consider the relay's coil resistance, as a significant difference could affect the control circuit's performance. If an exact replacement cannot be found through these suppliers, other avenues can be explored. Online auction websites like eBay or Etsy often feature listings for used or surplus electrical components. Searching for Arrow-Hart relay or vintage SPDT relay may yield results, although the condition and reliability of these components should be carefully evaluated. Checking with local electrical supply stores or repair shops that specialize in vintage equipment can also be fruitful. These businesses may have access to a network of suppliers or a stock of older components that are not readily available online. The electrical forums and hobbyist communities that focus on vintage electronics can be valuable resources for information and assistance. Members of these communities may have experience with similar relays and could offer suggestions for finding a replacement or adapting a modern alternative. In cases where an exact replacement is simply not available, modifying the enclosure to accommodate a different relay may become necessary. This option should be approached with caution, as it could compromise the integrity of the enclosure and potentially affect the safety of the equipment. It is strongly recommended to consult with a qualified electrician for assistance with this type of modification. The electrician can assess the feasibility of the modification, ensure that it is done safely and properly, and verify that the replacement relay meets all applicable electrical codes and standards. When selecting a replacement relay, it is essential to consider several key parameters to ensure compatibility and reliable performance. The voltage rating of the relay coil must match the voltage of the control circuit. Using a relay with a low voltage rating could result in damage to the relay or the control circuit. Conversely, using a relay with a significantly higher voltage rating may not provide sufficient current to activate the relay. The contact configuration, in this case SPDT, must also match the original relay. SPDT relays have one common terminal, one normally open terminal, and one normally closed terminal. If the replacement relay has a different contact configuration, such as SPSD or DPDT, it will not function correctly in the existing circuit. The current rating of the relay contacts should be equal to or greater than the current that the relay will be switching. Using a relay with a lower current rating could result in contact failure or even a fire hazard. The physical dimensions of the replacement relay should be similar to those of the original relay to ensure that it fits properly within the enclosure. If the replacement relay is significantly larger, it may not be possible to install it without modifying the enclosure. The coil resistance of the replacement relay should be within a reasonable range of the original relay's coil resistance. A significant difference in coil resistance could affect the performance of the control circuit and may require adjustments to the circuit to ensure proper operation. In addition to these key parameters, other factors to consider include the relay's operating temperature range, its expected lifespan, and its environmental protection rating. The operating temperature range should be suitable for the environment in which the relay will be used. The expected lifespan should be sufficient for the intended application. The environmental protection rating, such as IP rating, should be appropriate for the level of exposure to moisture and dust. When evaluating potential replacement relays, it is helpful to consult the manufacturer's datasheets. Datasheets provide detailed information about the relay specifications, performance characteristics, and application guidelines. They can also include information about safety certifications and compliance with industry standards. Before installing a replacement relay, it is important to disconnect the power to the circuit and verify that the circuit is de-energized. This will help to prevent electrical shock or damage to the equipment. The replacement relay should be installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. The wiring should be carefully checked to ensure that it is correct and that all connections are secure. After installing the replacement relay, the circuit should be tested to verify that it is functioning properly. The voltage and current levels should be measured to ensure that they are within acceptable limits. The operation of the relay should be observed to ensure that it is switching correctly and that there are no signs of overheating or other problems. If any problems are encountered, the circuit should be immediately de-energized and the cause of the problem should be investigated. In some cases, it may be necessary to consult with a qualified electrician to diagnose and repair the problem. Replacing an electrical component, such as a relay, requires a thorough understanding of electrical principles and safety practices. It is important to exercise caution and to follow all applicable electrical codes and standards. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to consult with a qualified electrician. They can safely and effectively replace the relay and ensure that the circuit is functioning properly. Moreover, when dealing with vintage electrical equipment, consider the age and condition of other components in the circuit. Aging components may be more prone to failure, and replacing multiple components at the same time can improve the overall reliability of the equipment. Furthermore, ensure that the replacement relay is compatible with the other components in the circuit. Incompatible components can cause malfunctions or even damage to the equipment. Also, remember to document the replacement process, including the model number of the replacement relay, the date of installation, and any modifications made to the circuit. This documentation can be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Obtaining an exact match for an Arrow-Hart Hegeman relay with the specification 28304 from 1944 is an improbable task in modern times. While searching, prioritize safety. Before doing any work, disconnect the power source to prevent accidental shock or short circuits. This is the most critical first step. Next, document everything carefully. Take pictures of the wiring before you disconnect anything. This will be a lifesaver when you're reconnecting the new relay. Note the wire colors and where they attach to the old relay. After documenting, disconnect the wires from the old relay. Use appropriate tools for the job and be gentle to avoid damaging the wires or surrounding components. Before installing the replacement, compare it carefully to the old relay. Ensure it has the same voltage rating, contact configuration which is single pole double throw, and amperage rating. If the replacement relay is not an exact physical match, you might need to adapt the mounting. Consider using mounting brackets or drilling new holes if necessary. Insulate all connections properly with electrical tape or heat shrink tubing. This will prevent short circuits and ensure a safe and reliable connection. Now, reconnect the wires to the new relay, matching the wiring diagram you created earlier. Double-check all connections to ensure they are secure. After installation, test the circuit thoroughly. Use a multimeter to check voltages and currents to ensure everything is within the expected range. In conclusion, finding an exact replacement for a vintage relay can be difficult, but with careful research and a systematic approach, a suitable alternative can often be found. Remember to prioritize safety, document everything, and test thoroughly to ensure a successful replacement.